Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of July 30th. We are moving into the month of August, and August is a very special month because it starts and ends with a full moon. And this is pretty rare. That second full moon is going to be known as a blue moon, and I'm sure you've all heard the saying, once in a blue moon, because it's rare. Having a month where we have two full moons, kind of gatekeeping the start and the end of the month, it indicates August is going to be a month for release, for letting go, for completion, for wrapping up. Something is going to leave our awareness, leave our space, leave our lives. There is going to be space created. And while we might be in a hurry to want to fill that space, it really seems like the universe is asking us to sit in the stillness and to sit in that space that has been created before trying to fill it. And the reason for that is because we have a lot more planets shifting into retrograde in the month of August. So while of course on these forecasts I go through every week and I'll guide you through all of this and all of the big month of August, if you want to jump ahead, I have your August forecast up at foreverconscious.com. I'll drop a link below. You can check out a summary for the whole month plus all the dates you need to know. But just know that August is a month of release, of creating space. Sometimes that can be a little bit uncomfortable. With these two full moons gatekeeping the start and end point of the month, it's very, very likely that things will come up and out into our awareness. Whenever we have a full moon, you can think of them as shining a light on our emotional state. So all the emotions that were buried deep within, all the emotions that were kind of bubbling away, we're kind of managing them all right. Then the full moon comes, it shines its illuminating light, and then all of a sudden those emotions can no longer be contained. They have to come up and out, and that's the reason they're coming up so they can come out. So we often feel a surge of emotional energy around a full moon. Full moons can also bring things into our awareness. If we think of the energetic of a full moon, it's full, it's shining bright. It can shine a light on things that are happening in our lives. The full moon is also a heightened point or the peak of the lunar cycle. So just in our own lives can mirror that. We can kind of reach the peak of the cycle, reach a point where we have to make a decision, where we have to make a call. And usually under a full moon, we're letting go, we're releasing, we're detoxing. Anything that's no longer resonant with our being, usually on a full moon, that comes up into our full awareness. So while we have this powerful energy, powerful lunar energy all through the month of August, because these full moons are not just regular full moons, I forgot to say, they are super full moons. So we have two super full moons through the month of August, not just regular moons, super moons. And what that is it just means that the moon is nice and close to Earth, which means we feel that gravitational pull even more. It's just a little bit stronger than a regular full moon. So two super full moons in the month of August, helping us to release and let go of things that are no longer resonant with our being. This first full moon of the month falls in Aquarius on August 1st, and I really feel it is a gentle welcome to the energies of August. Yes, you know, August does have a lot of big, strong cosmic energy, a lot of big, bold cosmic energy, but this full moon really feels like a gentle, warm welcome. It kind of feels like, to me, like a warm hand taking you and leading you down this path. And we know the path is big. We know that it might involve some change, some upheaval, some deep cleansing. But this warm hand is there, comforting you, guiding you, helping you to take that first step onto this path. I like this full moon for that reason. That doesn't mean that, you know, things can't come up or emotions can't come up, especially if you're sensitive to the moon. You might feel those emotions kind of rising, coming up. But this full moon really has a very nice, gentle tone to it. And its focus is really on healing. I would strongly suggest to use this full moon to heal, to bring a sense of well-being, balance, nourishment, into your life. And the healing vibration around this full moon is really going to support us with that. So what might that look like? That might look like really taking charge of your self-care, really taking charge of what you're putting into your body, really taking charge of your exercise routine, or getting back on track with those things that make you feel good. Really using the energy of this full moon to focus on how you can heal. So really think about that for a moment. Take a moment to ask your body, ask your soul, ask your mind, what can I do to help heal? What can I do to help bring nourishment and peace and stillness, and to bring myself back into a state of harmony? What does that look like? Maybe think of one thing you can do for your mind, one thing you can do for your body, and one thing that you can do for your soul, and try to do it all throughout this week and see how that helps you navigate some of these energies. Also, as always, I have an Aquarius full moon ritual for you. I'll drop a link in the description box below, but you can also find it at foreverconscious.com. And in that ritual, you are guided to move through all the 7 chakras of the body. We do an affirmation for each chakra, there's a meditation, and then right at the end there is also a full moon reading. So you're getting a combination of beautiful healing throughout the body, healing throughout the energy centers, and then right at the end a little bit of intuitive guidance to help support and guide you, especially if you've had a lot come up. It's been a very busy cosmic time, and I'm sure a lot of you are dealing with a lot of things, juggling a lot of things kind of feel up in the air right now. So hopefully that ritual can bring some grounding, some stabilizing, some clarity. We also have this week on August 4th, Mercury shifts into its shadow phase. What does that mean? That means that Mercury is slowing down in preparation for its upcoming retrograde. Mercury will go retrograde on the 22nd, 23rd of August. And right before it goes retrograde, it slows down. So Mercury is the planet of communication, which means that we're just paying attention to how we are choosing to communicate. We're trying to be a little bit more mindful with how we communicate. We're just sort of trying to be aware of our intuition a little bit more. A lot of people fear Mercury retrograde, but it's really nothing to fear. It's a time of intuitive awareness when it comes to how we are communicating with ourselves and with others. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and the ancient astrologers would say that when it entered retrograde, it would travel through the underworld, so through our subconscious, collecting lost and hidden messages that need to come into our awareness, or messages and intuitive pings that maybe we ignored or skimmed over or didn't realize the first time around. They tend to come back up around during a Mercury retrograde. It's at this time now, from August 4th onwards, that Mercury starts kind of packing its bags, getting ready to go into that underworld. So it's not quite there yet, it's not in the underworld yet, but if you pay attention, usually in these shadow phase times, we get little clues as to what themes Mercury retrograde might bring up for us. And what makes this Mercury shadow phase a little bit more significant is that Venus is also in retrograde too. Plus, we have a lot of other planets in retrograde: Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, a whole lineup of planets. And by the end of August, we'll actually have 6. Uranus also joins in. We'll have 6 major planets in retrograde. So it's a lot of retrograde energy, but Venus and Mercury are the most significant retrogrades because they are closest to the sun. So the rule is in astrology, the closer a planet is to the sun, the more likely we are to feel that retrograde very, very strong. Pluto retrograde, more subtle, it's a more kind of working in the very depths, in the very background of our lives. Even a Saturn retrograde, Saturn spends almost 6 months of the year in retrograde. So it's an energy we're very, very used to and familiar with. Venus, a very rare retrograde, and that retrograde will be the strongest. Mercury happens a few times a year, but again, because of its proximity to the sun, we just feel more affected by it. So Venus and Mercury being in retrograde together, which technically doesn't happen till later in the month, is a lot of retrograde energy to move through, and we might feel like we're moving in circles, or it's a little bit hard for us to move forward, or things might feel foggy or confusing. We might not know how to proceed forward with something. There's no clarity. We're lacking that clarity. So while we're not in the peak of that, we can start to feel that building as Mercury slips into its shadow phase on August 4th. So I know that was a lot. August really is a beautiful month. I know I said it's a big month and there's purge energy, release energy, we're creating space, but I really do think at the end of the day, it is a beautiful month for getting us into a greater state of alignment and helping us to let go of all those things that we no longer need, all of those things that are no longer aligning with our being and where we want to be. That is the destination. So, if that's the destination, maybe that helps to bring ease to the journey. I hope you found that helpful. Big energies moving in, but you've got it, and it is going to be a beautiful end result. I hope you found that helpful. I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.